All right, Renfrey gang. Salute to all the Patreon members. Salute to all the supporters. Salute to all the contributors. Salute to all the new viewers. I want to thank you guys for your support and your contributions made to the platform. It really means a lot to me. You guys could do me a favor. Please hit the link in the description box below for the Patreon page. Join the Patreon page. Check out the link for the Facebook page. Join the Facebook page. All right. And leave a comment in the comment section below. All right. So I know it's a late night. You guys probably won't get this till tomorrow, but it's okay. Uh, you'll watch it later on. As long as you're watching, that's fine. All right. So Thailand, 20 children unalived after Thailand school bus fire. This article right here is brought to you by the BBC.com. All right. Um, a school bus. The bodies of 20 children and 3 teachers have been recovered after the bus transporting school pupils crashed and caught fire outside Bangkok. So most of the headlines are like 20 kids. It's really all the adults. We'll just leave them out of it. The main important thing to talk about is the kids. So 23 people lost their lives, and 20 of them were children. The bus was returning to the Thai capital after a school trip to the north of the country. All right. So the north, where I don't know, could have been like close to Laos or Chiang Mai or, you know, midway of Thailand. I don't know where they were coming back from or what their activities were. They just say the north. Videos from the scene show flames engulfing a bus as it burned under an overpass with the huge clouds of dense black smoke billowing into the sky. The driver handed himself into police 100 kilometers north of Bangkok, according to local media. From what I heard, from what I read in a different article, the bus driver was trying to put out the flames, and he was like, "Okay, this is too big. It's out of control," and he ran away. That's what I read somewhere. Footage taken shortly after the fatal crash showed the driver attempting to extinguish the bus before he reportedly fled the scene. Okay, yes, this is the article where I read it from. He was trying to flee the scene, but flee the scene how? Like, was he trying to run away and hide, or was he just trying to get away from the bus? Because it's like, okay, if I get too close trying to put out this fire, I'm gonna lose my life and get burnt also. I don't know which one. Witnesses say the bus crashed into the concrete barrier dividing the highway just north of Bangkok. A frontier tire burst. Excuse me. After a front tire burst, the bus was quickly consumed by an intense fire, and many on board were unable to get out. The cause of this fire is still unknown. 19 children and 3 teachers are reported to have survived, 16 of whom are being treated in hospital for their injuries. Transport Minister, this guy right here, said the bus was powered by extremely risky compressed natural gas. Stick around, okay? Just don't think that I'm going to read this and say, oh, okay, that's it. No, I have a lot to say about this. I used to live in Thailand. For those that don't know, my name is Splash Wave Beats. I used to live in Thailand for like on and off for like 8 years. All right. So before you travel to Thailand, you need to listen to this video right here because I have a lot to say about this. Just be patient. Well, okay, wait to the end. This is a very tragic incident. Was leading the search, said it was hard to identify the bodies because they were so badly burnt. Some of the bodies we found were very, very small. Forensic police said of the 23 bodies found, 11 were male, 7 female, and further 5 were unidentifiable. Wow. Wow, look at this. The ages of the children on board remains unclear, but the school caters for pupils between 3 and 15 years old. Thailand is one of the worst road safety records in the world, with unsafe vehicles and poor driving contributing to roughly 20,000 fatalities a year. Yes, I've talked about that before. Okay, so let me leave the picture right here. All right. Should I leave it right there? Should I leave it right there? Now let me leave it right here. Okay. Foreigners know what I'm talking about when I say, you know, you see the local bot bus, that's different. But these little buses that take you to and from the city out to the country and back, I hate riding on those buses. Foreigners who work in Thailand are familiar with these buses because wherever you work at, right? Especially if they work at a school, they're gonna tell you like, "Hey, you got to go to Lao to get your Class B visa, okay, to change your status." So when you come to Thailand, you're on a visitor's visa, and then towards the end of that visa, they're preparing you to get your Class B. I believe it's the Class B. Class B is like, okay, it's not your work permit, but it's in limbo, right? It's saying like, hey, this Class B visa is okay. You have a company who wants to hire you, and they're working on uh the work permit while you're working. It allows you to work while they're working on your work permit. All right. So you get your Class B visa. Then after 6 to 8 months of you living in Thailand, then they say, okay, your work permit is ready. All right. So you don't have to go back to Lao anymore. You just go to a local office that they send you. You can pick up the work permit at a local office. But your Class B, at one point in time, you had to get it in Laos. So you had to take a bus to go up there. I think it was between like 8 to 10 hours on a bus. All right. Now, the first time I got on a bus going outside of the city, out in the countryside, man, like the guy driving the bus driver driving it like it was Mario Kart, like it was a go-kart. He would, it's a one way, right? A two-lane road, one way, right? Two lanes, one going north, one going south. And when that vehicle's going slow, you go around them, right? Now, a bus, you have to cover more of a distance to get around a vehicle because you're such a long bus, right? Um, Most of the time, and this was at night. So most of the time, like when you go around a vehicle, you go around when it's flat. You don't go around a vehicle when you're going around a curve, and you don't go around a vehicle when you're going uphill. This dude was going around vehicles while he was going uphill, which was dangerous because you don't know who's coming over the hill going downhill. That's what causes an accident. And I noticed that. I'm like, why is he driving like this? While I was living in Thailand, there were so many accidents with these buses, with these vehicles, because just weaving in and out, trying to get around vehicles going uphill. Like, and what's crazy is the bus driver always survives. I remember one time, like I used to live in Rangsit, Rangsit. That's the north side of Bangkok. There was like an accident that happened one time where there was a bus, like a double decker bus, coming back down south, and it was passing by my condo in Rangsit, and it got into an accident, flipped over. Uh, Six people weren't alive. Then one of them was like a baby, right? And they charged the bus driver with criminal negligence, but he didn't go to jail. He just got hit with a 4,000 baht fine. And I'm like, that's nothing. That's like $100 right there. Like literally, that's like $100. And he unalived 6 people. You got charged with criminal negligence. So this takes the cake right here because I could show you in a different article where it said the tragic fire occurred during a school field trip when an aging bus caught fire, resulting in the deaths of 20 students and 3 teachers from Utai Thani. Investigators found that the bus had been improperly converted to run on gas with far more cylinders than legally permitted. Only 6 of the 11 cylinders found on board had been certified by authorities. Right? Should I switch over to that? Yeah, let me switch over to this. Okay. Let me put this down. Let me read what I just said to you guys. So investigators found that the bus had been improperly converted to run on gas, far more cylinders than legally permitted. 6 of the 11 cylinders found on board have been certified by authorities. So already it's like you have too much fuel that's allowed on the bus, and then out of all the cylinders filled with fuel, 6 of them, right, were certified by authorities. 5 of them are probably no good, right? Too much fuel. 5 of them are out of service. They shouldn't even be on the bus, and you shouldn't even have that many on the bus. And look what happens. Like 23 people lose their life, and you're talking about kids. 20 kids lose their lives. And this is my problem with traveling around in Thailand, right? They just don't give a shit. You go to some of these countries and they don't give a shit. And you're using stuff like a bus, just a bus to get around. I remember back in 2022 when I went back to Thailand, this was, they were coming down off of the pandemic. I had to take a van to a hotel to one of those like those COVID hotels, right? And I get picked up from the airport, and I get into a van, not a bus, but like a van. Uh, and for those that have been in Thailand, you know what van I'm talking about. They got vans that'll take you from mall to mall. They'll take you from the airport to wherever you want to go. They have speakers inside in the ceilings. It's all decorated and decked out. Like y'all know what I'm talking about if you ever been to Thailand. And the driver was driving like a goddamn asshole, just driving, speeding, weaving out of traffic. This is how they drive in Thailand, right? You could get on, like, you're taking a risk if you're getting on a motorbike, a motorcycle taxi. You're taking a risk getting on these buses, getting on these taxis. I would say the safest way to get around Thailand is a train, right? It's uncomfortable, especially during rush hour. It's packed, you're around people, you're squished on a train, but it's much safer taking these buses, taking these taxis, because they do not give a shit. I told you in another live stream how what like 50 to 60 Chinese people lost their lives on a boat that wasn't like it was like out of service, improperly, not even inspected. Old rinky-dink bus that they put them to travel on the water with. It tipped over and they ended up drowning. Right? Um, this right here, an aging bus caught on fire. Right? All the buses in Thailand are aged. Most of them. They didn't start putting new buses out there on routes until like 2019. That's when I started seeing like brand new buses. Other than that, you talking about buses that look like, it was some World War I, World War II buses. They look bombed out, depleted. right? The bot bus, which is like, a bot bus, it's not going through, too fast in traffic. I don't think it has that many cylinders. So taking the city bot bus, it's raggedy, but it's fine. It doesn't go that fast to where you can't jump out if something were to happen. But these buses right here, they're going 60, 70 miles an hour. Something happens, they hit something, and bam, you're stuck on this bus, and it catches on fire. It's engulfed, right? Uh, this is insane. How many live streams have I done? Uh, wh- what? I don't know how much is it. Is that Norwegian money? I appreciate the donation. Uh, and okay, 25 to. Oops, I want to look this up. Oh, okay. Thank you for $2.34. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Let me put it back on a different on the original screen that I had on a different one. Uh, so I want to say this: a lot of people, they like going to Thailand for different reasons. Okay, it's probably one of the world's most visited countries, and I remember one time it was getting like what 40 to 50 million tourists per year traveling to Thailand, right? And like I've said this before, it is dangerous wherever you go in Thailand. It is extremely dangerous. You can walk on the sidewalk is dangerous. Why? Because you got people riding their motorbikes on the sidewalk, running people over. Uh, open cables that are fell from the line that are open, very dangerous, high voltage. Uh, just all the sewage that they dump on the sidewalks, the tiles that you step on, they're loose, and that water can get up on your skin and cause you to get a rash. That's dangerous. Uh, you know, Crossing the street is very dangerous in Thailand. Riding the bus, just everywhere you step, if you don't double and triple check where you walk in Thailand, stuff can happen, especially this. I mean, a lot of these buses, people travel by bus. Some people nah, let me not take the plane. Let me take a bus to Chiang Mai and see the countryside. Only for you to get on a bus like this and this happens. And if this don't happen, the bus crashes into somebody because it's weaving in and out of traffic, trying to get around other cars going up a hill. Then some people are like, well, let me just take a train. Man, do you know how often those trains in Thailand derail? Right? And it's not like a catastrophe where when like you see in the movies when it derails, like it's just train cars all over the place. No. Um, it'll derail and the tire just comes off and it comes to an abrupt stop, and they have to get somebody to I guess it's not a tire, but you know what I'm talking about. It'll be like one wheel that comes off the tracks and it stops, and somebody has to come along and a company has to put it back on the track, and that takes hours. Like it derails all the time, right? um Motorbike riders running into people, running into other motorbike riders, running into taxis running into people. They have a high fatality rate on the roads. A lot of people drive drunk. All right. Be careful going to Thailand. It is a mess out there. Right. And that's just the roads. We haven't even gotten into, you know, the red light district or the clubs or the mall or the restaurants. It's always something with Thailand. It's like you got to be like, it takes an expert to move through Thailand a certain way, because the average person who's going to Thailand for the first time don't know about this, right? Hey, I'm about to get on a bus and go to no, don't get on the bus. Take a plane. You sure? But I want to see the countryside. It ain't worth it. Trust me. It ain't worth it. But it's the food. Oh, I went over to this restaurant over here and I ate. Where's the restaurant? Is it in the mall? No, it's not in the mall. It's like a mom and pop restaurant. Don't go there. Oh, you're so hateful and you need to open your mind and this, that, and the third. All right, go ahead. They hit you up. Man, you was right about that restaurant, man. I was eating that meat and I lift up under that meat. It was green all underneath that meat. I'm like, I told you. And this is a real story. Like I had a friend, he ate at a restaurant in Chiang Mai, and he was like, damn, all you eat is at the malls. I'm like, yes. I only eat at the malls. He ate at some restaurant. He hit me up. He was like, hey, you was right. I ate at this mom and pop spot. The food looked good on the picture. As soon as I got my plate, the meat was all green. And I'm telling you, like, I could do a whole series on how to move in Thailand. You can't just go over there and travel in Thailand. You have to move a certain way. And I would advise anybody not to get on the buses. Right? Even in the taxis, I mean, all cars, vehicles, they have, if they're not electric, they have gas tanks, fuel tanks in the cars. But the old taxis in Thailand that pick you up and take you everywhere you want to go, the fuel tanks are in the trunk. So if somebody rear ends you hard enough, hey, that could set off like a chain reaction right there. Right? We did a live stream where that woman was trying to get close to a waterfall and she fell to her death. There were no rails or anything. And I showed you the contrast between doing that kind of stuff in Thailand versus doing that in Taiwan. I'm like, this is a waterfall I've been to in Taiwan. Look how it's roped off, caged off, railed off in Taiwan. Look, they have bridges that they built for you to get to the waterfall. They have a whole marketplace right next to the waterfall. They have tiles that they laid out for you to walk on by the waterfall. They cut down a lot of trees and built rails so it's safe for you to get close to this waterfall. But in Thailand, they don't do that. It's like somewhat sort of a tourist destination. And when you get there, you're the only one there. And, you get close, you can slip, fall. They don't make it safe for a lot of people. I've seen people down zip lines, boats, you name it in Taiwan. You have to, first of all, you need to know how to swim in Thailand, just in case. Second off, you need to, you got to limit what you consider fun. You got to limit your activities in Thailand. When I used to live there, fun for me was just going to the mall, going to the movies, especially if a new movie came out, going to the mall. About the malls y'all used to out here in America. I'm talking about Google Icon Siam Mall, Google Siam Paragon Mall. These are futuristic looking malls. All right. These malls are space age. These malls are way ahead of its time. Way better than any mall I've ever been to in life. Everything surrounds like everything you need is in the mall in Thailand. I've already explained this before. The grocery store, the gym, the movie theater, all the restaurants, English lessons, piano lessons, rock climbing, gaming, you name everything is in the mall. The banks are in the mall, right? What bank is in a mall in America? Your bank ain't at no mall. There's an ATM, but all the banks, right? Imagine walking into a mall in America and it's like Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo. I'm talking about the regular store, the regular like brick and mortar fronts, right? Inside of the mall. Like that Capital One, all in. No, you don't. There's not a mall like that in America. Thailand is like that. The safest, the safest way to play in Thailand. You can't even really go to the parks like that. You got to be real careful going to the parks. I remember my first time going to Lumpini Park. That's like the biggest park in Bangkok. Uh, there was a monitor lizard, like biggest. It was like the size of an alligator. His gut was full. I think he ate a cat, and like some of the people that worked at the park were like using rakes to kind of like push it out of the park. It was a big boy, right? There's a whole bunch of big ass, and some of those monitor lizards they move fast. Like y'all gotta understand, Thailand is like a jungle. It's literally by the equator. You know what I'm saying? It's a jungle. So you got all types of animals, wildlife that you got to watch out for. Then they don't really take care of anything over there. You got to watch out for the food you eat. People trying to scam you. Like you got to treat Thailand like it's the bricks. You know what I'm saying? You got to treat it like you know you got to treat it like it's the hood it is because it's concrete jungle in Thailand for real. You like and my bad. I keep on saying like I'm just thinking like I have so many memories I could share with you guys. Asia Teak is a popular spot in Bangkok. They have a huge Ferris wheel. I've been on that Ferris wheel once, and thank God it worked when I got on there. You know, doing little activities like that, you got to be careful because that whole time when I was on that Ferris wheel, I thought, man, this shit might get stuck. This Ferris wheel might get stuck. But it's cool. Like if I'd rather a Ferris wheel get stuck than you know being upside down on a roller coaster or carts flying off and people flying off of a ride. I've seen that in Thailand. Um, be careful what you eat in Thailand. I would get strep throat like every couple of months in Thailand. Like it's so I know I'm venturing off a little bit. I'm trying to show you guys like I'm trying to express to you like the gravity of all this. Like be careful in Thailand. We're gonna have to do a whole uh I remember we did a live stream talking about how to move overseas, but how to move in Thailand is much different, right? How to move in China is much different. Taiwan, I don't have to tell you how to move in Taiwan. Only thing I would say in Taiwan is just be careful climbing up a mountain. And I know y'all ain't really like doing that much hiking or anything like that. I would hear about people slipping and falling while they're hiking and they break their necks and they end up dead on like a hill or a mountain and people don't find them for a very long time. Like I've heard of that. Most brothers, they ain't really hiking like that. You know, I don't really have to give you this level of game for Taiwan, but Thailand, I gotta make it a whole separate series. And even then, you'd be like, damn, what can I do? What can I do? See, I could go to Thailand, and even me, I could get got, but I won't get got as bad as some of these people who have never been there before, right? Uh, man, I'm telling you, like, first and foremost, I say stay off of a motorbike while you're in Thailand. But if you have to get on a motorbike, right, more than likely you're gonna get on one with a motorbike taxi. And if you rent a motorbike, you shit, I would tell you no. But even still, you got to be careful, especially when it rains, especially during hurricane season and it's flooding because they're going through floods right now. Boy, like all the snakes come to the main road. I'm talking about, and we ain't talking about like little garden snakes. We talking about fucking python looking snakes, big ass long snakes. I remember one time I drove past three snakes, like three long ass snakes while I was going home after like it had been flooding all week. And then when the water started to go down, that's when like you see all these snakes on the road, all these big ass spiders, snails, weird bugs you haven't seen before in your life. Uh yeah, yeah. But hold on, man. Let me just end this right here. You guys be safe. Take care. I see you guys tomorrow. What's today? It's Friday. Shit. I'm gonna be in all weekend. And I'm fine with that. I'm cooling, so I'm gonna just be making beats, doing live streams. Salute to Activo for the super chat donation. And I'm gonna get it in. I want to do like 2 live streams tomorrow. All right. You guys stay safe. Peace.